leather girls.
Alright, this is the first thing you're going to want to do for your oil change or your 3-hole change is you need to get the bike up to operating running temperature. Best way to do that is to go out for a ride. And that's the very first thing that you have to do is get the bike, go out, take a nice rip, maybe 20 minutes, 15 minutes, maybe 30 minutes, maybe an hour if you're having a good time. But you need to get the oil up to operating temperature, and that's going to be the first thing that you want to do for your oil change. All right, after I get the bike up to temp, I like to get it up on the bike stand, and we'll get her jacked up, and we're going to get ready to drain all the fluids out. All right, I'll go over a quick rundown of the tools you need. You're going to need an 11/16 socket. You're going to need a 5/8 socket. 5/8 is going to be the workhorse. You're going to need a T25 Torx bit. You're going to need a 7/32 Allen wrench, a 3/8 Allen wrench, and a couple of torque wrenches. We'll get into those later. Then I got some funnels, measuring cup, a couple of these Harley-Davidson oil fillers so you can try not to make a mess. And you're gonna need an oil filter wrench. And I got the Loctite 567 thread sealant if you need it for your threads on your oil plugs. And we're also gonna need a derby cover gasket and some O-rings for the oil plugs. I'm gonna go ahead and vent out the oil. I'm gonna take my dipstick out. Yeah, old and dirty. I went the full 5,000 miles on this oil change. All right, with the bike up on the jack, let me zoom out. The first plug here, this one at the back facing out is your oil. That's your engine oil plug. We're gonna drain that one first. The transmission plug is on the flat bottom in the back right there. And then your primary is right here. Those are the 3-hole specialer. Because the way my bike stand is, I'll do them each one at a time so I don't make a mess in my garage. So I'm gonna go for the engine oil first. All 3 plugs are the 5/8 ratchet, just for the heads up. And I do have the engine oil heated up to operating temperature like we talked about. And we're gonna go ahead and pull our plug out. Try not to melt our fingers. Oh, she blows, baby. Look at that, she's good and dirty. You check your plug for debris. Any chunks of metal, that's all just the Teflon tape on there from the threads and the thread sealant, so we're looking good. Okay, clean it. You clean up your drain plug. I did. My gasket was in pretty bad shape, so I went ahead and used a pick, got my gasket off. I got a new O-ring, O-ring. Got the new O-ring on. I'm cleaning up the threads of the old thread sealer, and we'll get it cleaned up and then ready to reinstall here. So you're gonna retorque your drain plug between 14 and 21 foot-pounds. There it is. All right, now I'm gonna move this over and we'll get the oil filter out. I'll take the new filter, pour a little bit of oil in it. using the Synth 3. And I'll go ahead and lube up my gasket. When you get this in there, you go hand tight, and then 1/2 to 3/4 turns with your hand tight. That's it. No oil filter wrench for the reinstall. Just hand tight. Snug up the threads, then 1/2 to 3/4. That's all you need. All right, for the transmission, we got to take the side cover off. It's the 2 Allen bolts on the side right here have to come off, and remove this cover, and then another plastic piece, and I'll show you here in just a sec. You remove the side cover, there's a plastic piece that comes off right here, and then this is your transmission port. Transmission, and it's going to be the 3/8 Allen right in there. And we'll grab that Allen and we can take that off of there. There she goes. She's gonna fit in there. And once you get her loose, you could probably get it loose enough for a finger bang and then back her out. And we'll get her out of there. And when you get it out, you can see it has a full and an add mark. I get her to focus. Right there. And that's your dipstick for your transmission. Let's go ahead and drain the tranny fluid. All right, we're gonna torque down the plug, the drain plug for the transmission. It's the same as the oil plug, 14 to 21 foot-pounds, right up there. And we're gonna get that all set up with the torque wrench here. So let me get in there with 2 hands. Check with the book, 28 ounces. I did measure what came out, and it was right around at 30 ounces, right at 30. So I'm gonna put 28 ounces back in, and I do have my measuring cup for that. It's right here. All right, we're right there, 28 ounces. I'm gonna add it to the transmission. This is gonna go in the tranny, and I'm using the Harley-Davidson gear oil for the transmission and primary chain case. You could also use the Synth 3 in there too. As you can see, it says there, engine, chain case, transmission. You could run all Synth 3 if you like. I'm gonna run this in my tranny and my primary. I'm gonna run the Synth 3 in my engine. You can do what you do. It's all up to you. Okay, I've added my 28 ounces of transmission fluid. I used the gear oil. I put 4.5 quarts of Synth 3 in. I put my side cover back on. Now let's go play with our primary, and we'll get that drained out and weighed out. I'm gonna go ahead and remove my primary cover first, and then I'm gonna undo my drain plug here and drain out my primary. What I understand, there's a dry fill and a wet fill, and a dry fill is if you like took your clutch all apart and put it back together. So we're just gonna be doing the 36 ounces for the wet fill. Please leave a comment if I have that wrong. But if you just do a regular drain and fill, it's gonna be a wet fill 36 ounces into the primary. When you put your derby cover back on, I think it's between, I know it's inch-pounds, between 25 and 35 inch-pounds. So I go about 30 inch-pounds. You want to do it in a star pattern, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And that's how you finish that up. All right, one thing you want to do after you're all done, take the bike for a spin, come back, check for any oil leaks from all your oil plugs. And then at the very end, check all your fluid levels to make sure you have the correct fluid levels. There's one thing I didn't show in this video, and that is the clutch adjustment. And I'll do that in another video. It's real simple, and we'll do that on another video. That's just basic oil change on the Milwaukee 8. Watching NorCal Refrigeration and H.V.A.C. Remember to like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video.